My name is Christian Sarlitto, Christian Sarlitto. I'm in Delta Company, 4th Regiment. CTLT, also known as Cadet Troop Leadership Training, is kind of an opportunity for cadets to experience being a platoon leader during their summer leadership or their summer details at West Point. And so all cadets are assigned a sponsor at one of their prospective branches. And we essentially go through the daily battle rhythm and routine of that lieutenant and their platoon. I went to Fort Cavazos in Texas, and I would say I had a very fulfilling experience because I was able to shadow a lot of lieutenants and branches that I am interested in going into in the next year. And I was able to see a lot of their daily tasks and pick their brains about their decision and how their experience have been with their branch so far. Yes, sir. The primary unit I was with was the 69th Air Defense Artillery Brigade, and then I was also able to shadow the 1st Cavalry Division, their medevac unit, as well as the 11th Signal Brigade, and I shadowed a engineer and field artillery company. My average days would be, my lieutenants would pick me up at around 8:15 from the hotel I was staying at on post, and we would go into the office and really mostly see the agenda of what we had to get done that day and start getting those tasks done. What I was really impressed with at my Air Defense Artillery unit was the openness that my lieutenant had with his soldiers every day. They were always in his office, asking him questions, seeing what they needed to get done, and he was very open about communicating with them. And then we would head to lunch around 11:30, come back an hour later, and continue trying to wrap up either the motor pool, or we would have some commander's updates briefs or some other type of meeting that we needed to get to. Absolutely, sir. The thing I most remember from my time is the presence that my platoon leaders or lieutenants had with their units. They were always there. They were always available to talk, walking around company area, as well as the logistics that they must juggle. A big thing that I learned was how they manage their property book. And I definitely want to remember that and keep notes about that for when I am a future lieutenant. Sir, I would say the best experience I had was when I shadowed the medevac platoon leader, and we were able to go out on a day mission, and we flew about 2 hours to College Station, where Texas A&M is. We stopped at an airport. We got out for lunch for about an hour and a half, and then we were able to get back on the helicopter, fly back to Fort Cavazos, and practice some hoist drills with the hoist that they have on board that they use for medevac missions. I would say CTLT is important because at West Point, we do a lot of the cool summer training experiences and get to go out into the field and do all the FA shooting and infantry clearing rooms and stuff like that, but we don't get to see a lot of the everyday life of lieutenants. We think it's all like glamorous and doing all the cool Army stuff, but it really, where you make or break your time as a lieutenant can be in the administrative and when there isn't a whole lot going on in the field and when you need to do your job. And I believe CTLT really exposes everybody to those experiences and shows them what they really want to do and what type of units they want to be working with. Absolutely, sir. CTLT really gave me a lot more information than I had before I went and showed me all the opportunities that certain branches have and kind of definitely influenced the decision I'm going to be making when I input my branch preferences and when I finally select my final branch. Absolutely, sir. Right now, I would say my number one choice is still Air Defense Artillery. I was really impressed with just like the work culture and the environment they had there. They've been a very important job and they're receiving a lot of support to continue that mission, but they also had a very close kind of family connection, and the company commander was super helpful, super present. I liked how small the units were. They were a Patriot unit, so that definitely, the experience at CTLT definitely solidified my choice in branch, as well as I hadn't considered Signal as an option before, but I was really happy with how much experience and the skills that they're learning in that branch and how they transfer to other functional areas and as well as the civilian world. I was really happy being at Fort Cavazos. I was a little hesitant when I first got my spot, but I was really happy with all of the kind of the services that they had on post. The hotel I was staying at was super nice and had all like laundry, breakfast, everything I could need there. And then just the PX on post, the commissary, and all the workers there seemed to be very helpful. The People Center first there was really nice, as well as the USO Club. So CTLT at Fort Cavazos was definitely a good assignment. Absolutely. The proximity to nearby towns is definitely a bonus too, especially when you're a future officer. You were able to get out a lot and had a lot of free time on the weekends, and so exploring around Fort Cavazos was a lot of fun.